All right, it is time for 31 Days of Horror, film number 2 with Verónica. Verónica. This one was new to me. I wonder if it is new to you. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm excited to be back for more of 31 Days of Horror. This time I selected Verónica, which is on Netflix. It was a new to Netflix. It was in like the recently added section, and I was like, what's that? That looks kind of creepy. And it is actually a psychological thriller. It is from Mexico, and it stars Arcelia Ramírez, Olga, Segura, and Sofía Garza, and it is directed by Carlos Algara and Alejandro Martinez-Beltran, and I hope I did okay with the pronunciation there. And although this isn't horror per se, I do like to include some thrillers in the mix when I do the 31 Days of Horror, because I like that anything that has a lot of tension in it, I think is fair play in the world of horror. And this one definitely had a lot of tension in it. It is definitely a psychological thriller. It's also a drama. It is and it follows a reclusive therapist who reluctantly takes on a new client, Verónica, who comes to her cabin, and a sort of battle of wills kind of ensues between them in terms of testing boundaries. When I read the little description, it said testing boundaries, which made me think it might be a good 31 Days of Horror film, and I would have to say I am right, because this film was awesome. It was so good, the tension was so high, the acting was very good, and the story was great too. So it really hit all of the marks that I look for in a thriller, and the atmosphere was good. So that, like, I was just so happy. And it is actually quite short. I might start including the running time in these just in the descriptions. Let me know if that's helpful to you, because I actually had a bit of a miss. I started watching something else and it wasn't quite working for me, so I switched to Verónica, which is only an hour and 20 minutes, which is like the perfect amount of time for this kind of thriller, because the tension just sort of builds and builds and builds and builds, and so you don't want to hold that too long. I don't want to hold that. My heart can't take it. So, and I really didn't even barely know what to expect just from that just little brief description. And like it starts out and like you're in this gorgeous location, cabin in the woods, reclusive, it's in black and white, rotary telephones. It's all like, what's going on? Where am I? When am I? And like, it's really good. It was really good. I really enjoyed the acting by both of the main actresses, and just the story was so creepy in terms of tension. Like they just, push a little bit against each other and a little bit more against each other and a little bit more against each other, and you never know quite like what's like how truthful people are, and but like how truthful especially Verónica is, evasive answers, what's going on, pushing back, all of this kind of stuff. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 for acting, story, and atmosphere. They were all really solid, and overall I just enjoyed it so much. I feel like all I'm saying is that I liked it. One of the challenges with thrillers, especially if they like this or have like the plot is a mystery, you don't want to say too much, and I definitely don't want to say too much, especially since this is a new film. It's a 2017 release, and it did the festival circuit this year, so I think I won't even do a spoiler zone, although it did remind me of one other film, and I would love to say what that is, but unfortunately that would spoil that film for people who saw this film, and this film for people who saw that film, so unless I can guarantee you've seen both of the films, I can't actually say it, but I would be thrilled and curious to know if that other film, maybe I'll put like I think it was directed by Ingmar Bergman, so I think that might be enough of a hint for the film buffs to be able to figure it out. And if I'm wrong on that, it'll just be confusing. I wonder if the other film was an inspiration for this. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't, again, I was gonna say, is it scary or not? I found it tense. Like I was I was creeped out by the atmosphere for sure, just because of the remote location, and also it deals with memory and sort of like unveiling secrets and trying to figure things out, and then what is true and what is not true in terms of what Verónica is saying is also another layer of unnervingness. So all of that I found was done really well, and like people have different levels of scare zones and stuff, and like for me I found it unnerving, I was creeped, I was tensed, I was like ah. So it's not horror, but it is psychological thriller, and it does that well. overall, I just really enjoyed it. I highly recommend people check it out. It is not long, and I just really loved it. I did watch it in Spanish with English subtitles, and that was great. You know, the subtitles were great, and it was just really so much fun. So I guess that's not really saying too much other than go watch Veronica. Let me know if you've seen it. Let me know your thoughts on it. If they're spoilery, just preface them and put some spaces. Because I certainly don't want to ruin this for anyone else because it is a new film. One of the things I did want to mention though is that I did DNF a film. Do not finish in book talk for my book fans, and I will be doing more book videos. I know it's been a while, but so yeah, I started something else, and after I had dinner, and then after I finished eating, I was like, I'm just not feeling this, and I don't know whether or not if it's interesting or not to talk about the film that I didn't watch, because I can only say what the first 20 minutes was like, and that doesn't really feel like it equates to what the whole movie was like, and so I'm not quite sure how to deal with that, or just to go on to the next thing. One of the reasons why I'm mentioning this and why I'm asking, is this interesting or valuable to hear, is because I do tend to post on Instagram. So I posted the movie I was gonna watch last night, and then people ask me oh, how was it and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't finish watching it, but I feel bad saying even saying that. It's true, so I don't feel bad about that, but I feel like I'm, it's hard to say am I judging this film based on only the first 20 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, so it made me sort of second guess whether or not I want to post what I'm watching until I finished watching it. Of course, I watch stuff late at night, so that means I'd be posting it at midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning, and everyone's going to be mostly asleep, except for the PSTers. Anyway, so that's a little thing about DNF'ing. Let me know how you deal with it. Do you consider that you've watched the film? Do you always watch a film to the end? Usually I do, but I gotta tell you, this is my list of just Netflix. So it's 2 pages of films that I can watch. Then I have a whole page of stuff that's available on Shudder that I am considering watching. Then I have a whole page of stuff that's on Shout Factory TV, which you can watch online for free. Shudder is subscription, but Shout Factory is free. And then Amazon Prime has actually a PS4 and PS3 app. So here in Canada, I don't know worldwide, but in Canada, if you have a PS4 or PS3, you can actually watch your Amazon Prime stuff on the PS4. I started, the menus are a little slow, but it is a lot easier than how I used to watch the PS4, the Amazon Prime stuff. So I only found 2 things so far, but I didn't peruse that much. They don't even have a horror category, but they do have some stuff. And then I have a whole bunch of stuff from Google Play. So I am not concerned about selection of films. There are way more than 31 films, and just with the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, that's already 6 to 8 films, I think. So I think it's fair if a film doesn't grab me by the time I finish dinner to switch to something else, which might mean I'll be watching a lot of shorter films if I have to cross over from one to the other. Anyway, let me know how you deal with that in terms of how much time do you give, or do you consider that you've watched it, or better yet, any good suggestions for anything, especially on Netflix Canada. Although it was really funny, my buddy Rob, hi Rob, he actually said that he's not going to give any suggestions, because if he has to watch crap, then I have to watch crap too. And I thought that was really funny. And I think that is kind of the spirit of 31 Days of Horror, is kind of you gather up all of these horror movies that you've either purchased but not watched, or wanted to watch but haven't, or films that you know nothing about, and then you go through them. But last night, the other film, I was just no, I can tell every beat of this story before. And part of that is just that I've watched a lot of horror films over the years, and I'm okay, I don't know for sure I could tell every beat, but I'm I would be really surprised if there were surprises. Not that there has to be surprises. Veronica, at a certain point, I started to figure out what was going on, and it did remind me of another film, but it was told so well that it was fine. That I was like, wow, this is great. This is just really great. So, I don't know. There's lots of questions in there. Feel free to answer any of them. I didn't particularly ask them, oh, it's really raining now and all stormy. So weird that it's still bright, but it's totally gray skies out there. October. Anyhow, Veronica, really enjoyed it. big thumbs up. Definitely recommend it. And if you have seen it, or if you plan on watching it, feel free to let me know. It was a good pick. I wonder what I will pick tonight, and I wonder if I'll Instagram it. Maybe I just shouldn't Instagram till I finish. It's hard not to. We'll see how things go. All right, thanks for watching.